Hello everyone, this is the Underdoll, and I wanted to do a talk about Star Wars and the latest trailer, and the failure I expect the new movie to be. Now, it's been some time where I've talked about Star Wars, and I'm very passionate about Star Wars. I've done several streams and also reviewed the last two abominations that Lucasfilm has released, but now it looks or it looks to me that Lucasfilm are trying to not only to ruin the entire franchise with the latest movie, but also lying in media. For instance, where they are saying now that The Rise of Skywalker is beating all records. But we heard the same thing when it came to the sales of Solo, a Star Wars story. Had double the sales of Black Panther, and when I look at the trailer of The Rise of Skywalker, I can't help to think that the leaks that came out just about a week ago or so were completely true. I think it's actually longer than a week, but I don't want to really spoil it for those who haven't seen it or read it. But from the looks of the trailer, it looks to me that J.J. Abrams is just destroying the last of what Star Wars is, and I have no interest or any hopes for, so to speak, for this movie, and I won't give them a dime. I will try to find some other way to watch the movie, but I refuse to give Disney money for a franchise that they have effectively killed over just a few years. The biggest IP ever created that we know of in modern times have effectively been killed in about 5 to 6 years since they've taken over, and that is an astonishing feat. And I consider Star Wars only canon from episodes 1 to 6 and Rogue One, because that's the only decent thing that they've produced since taking over Lucasfilm. And with the leaks coming out of how they treated Bob Iger treated George Lucas, it is also astonishing to see how they could not have included George Lucas into these new movies and ignored everything he had to say. Just look at the other franchise that someone started but has dropped off ever since the original creator didn't make any movies. Just look at Terminator. And the latest movie I heard is a abomination, is the best way I can describe it. And when you have someone else just basically making fan movies at this point, you're bound to make just and especially if you don't understand what Star Wars was actually doing. J.J. Abrams was never a fan of Star Wars. He doesn't understand it. And Rian Johnson just completely ruined it, hence his nickname Rian Johnson. And Lucasfilm has gone out there just the last few years basically endorsing the bashing of the fans. They haven't said media to stop. They had the chance on Star Wars Celebration where the actor of Admiral Akbar basically said it was a shame of what they did to his character, and IGN, who handled the segment, basically tried to save Lucasfilm any embarrassment. Then you have Rian Johnson going out and calling fans man babies, racist, sexist, etc., etc. You have Freddie Prinze Jr. Going out telling the Star Wars is for effing kids, and basically again bashing fandom. You have Chuck Wendig, who is out of his goddamn mind, on Twitter. That's the best way to describe it. You have Pablo Hidalgo, basically the head of the canon of Disney Star Wars, blocking people and attacking people on Twitter. And you also have Star Wars shills like John Campea, Star Wars Explained, etc., etc. All of these shills are endorsed by the company because they get access. They get access to Disney Star Wars. They get to go on premieres. They get to interview. They get to go to the theme park. They get access from Disney as long as they play ball, as long as they make Disney look good. And everyone who is critical of Star Wars, like myself, Geeks and Gamers, World Class BS, Jesse Milestone, and that Star Wars girl, John Talks, Odin's movie blog, Mary Mayhem, Mary Mayhem, and many others as well. Too many to mention. And just look at them and call them racist and sexist just for speaking out against a company that clearly doesn't understand not only the IP they bought, they ignored the outlines and the advice George Lucas wanted to give them, because George Lucas expected it to be like Pixar. And then as well also attacking fans and ignoring every step of the way of what fans have been telling them. And you have people like Simon Pegg, who is again a Star Wars shill, who bashed on the sequels publicly, and the media who attacked Ahmed Best and others for the portrayals and how the story and characters were portrayed in the prequels. They have no shame whatsoever. And don't apologize for what they did to not only George Lucas, but also the child actor. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but the child, Christopher Lloyd, I think he's called, who played Anakin in Episode 1. Ahmed Best, who struggled ever since. Even George Lucas has struggled ever since. And they are the same people who are calling people like me and the people I mentioned all names in the book using weasel words, just so they can get access and make themselves look good, and ignoring all criticism. Because I hope personally that Star Wars Episode 9 bombs. I hope for its demise. I hope there is a big boycott. I'm not telling anyone else how to spend their money. I just think the way they've been treating fans, the way they've even said that Rey is the most powerful Jedi, and making her Mary Sue, and also now saying that Kylo Ren is more powerful than Darth Vader. This is how you know there is lazy storytelling, when you have to tell and not show how powerful. You had 2 movies already, and there is no progression whatsoever in the characters of at least the sequel trilogy. All the original characters regressed, and none of the new characters have even progressed, or we know them as a character. All we know about Poe Dameron is he's a good pilot. That's it. Finn, he's a former stormtrooper, and he's funny at times. He wants to run away. That's it. And we have Rey, who was abandoned, who is good at everything, and that's it. That's her character. That's the depth of the new characters. And Rose Tico, she just contradicts herself in The Last Jedi. So anyways, thank you guys for watching, and see you guys next time. Bye.